question. How many of you have ever been wrong before? By show of hands. Keep your hands up. If you've been wrong before, or you can put one of them down if you like. If you've been wrong before, what did it feel like emotionally when you were wrong? Just call it out. Sucks? Embarrassed? What else? Hurts? Very good. Put your hands down. A couple of months ago, I had the good fortune to be able to listen to a TED Talk by a lady named Kathryn Schulz, who wrote a book called Being Wrong. And she made the point that while all of these are incredibly valuable reactions to being wrong, they're actually valid reactions to a different question. Not what did it feel like to be wrong, but what did it feel like to realize that you were wrong? Because there was a time between when you made a statement, you held a position, you accomplished a task. At the point when you did that, you were wrong already. You just didn't realize it. And society has taught us over time that being wrong isn't just about having a lack of knowledge. It's about there's something wrong with us. When we got that test back in 4th grade with the F and all the red marks on it, we weren't just being told by our teachers that we didn't know that subject. We were being told that we lacked some sort of character. We were the troubled student. We were the slow student. We were the non-engaged student. And over time, we continue to learn these traits from our bosses, from our teachers, from our peers, from our colleagues. And each one of them tell us the same thing. Being wrong is bad. But is it really bad? Or is being wrong an opportunity to be euphoric about the opportunity to change your life and change your view? All of us look at life through our own lenses. Some of us have to have extra lenses. But we all have a lens through which we view the world. We have a perspective. We have our own paradigm. It comes from our culture, our upbringing, our age, our experiences, our education, our religion. It impacts everything we do. And if we can look at our own paradigm and say, that's what led us to be wrong, then we have the opportunity to change that paradigm to say, this is an opportunity for me to learn to be right more often than be wrong. There are some great things you can do. There are tools available to you to help you understand more about yourself. StrengthsFinders is a great tool to be able to use to understand what you do best. When you were in school, how many teachers focused you on trying to become the most average person you could be by being well-rounded? You have to be good at physics. You have to be good at math. You have to be good at English. Not all of us are good at all of those things. But yet, our teachers and our parents, when we got those report cards that said A, C, D, A, how many focused on the A? And how many focused on the D? You have to bring that up. You have to become more well-rounded. StrengthsFinders tells us, no. Just trying to become well-rounded means you're going to become the most average person you can possibly be. Think of the decathlete. They are not the best speed runner. They are not the best high jumper. They're not the best pole vaulter, javelin thrower. They are the most highly gifted average athlete that one can possibly find. The same holds true for us. If we continue to try to become well-rounded, we continue to not focus on what we do best, and we never become great at anything. We become okay at a lot of stuff. The other great tool that's out there is something called Myers-Briggs. And Myers-Briggs tells us all of us have our own personalities and ways to view the world. And there are two specific parts of Myers-Briggs that are incredibly important to this process. The first one has to do with how we perceive information. And that is when we receive information, do we receive it in a very concrete, logical form that's based upon what has come before us, how we've experienced it before, what the concreteness is about it, called sensing? Or do we look at things for what it could be, what it might be, the opportunities that exist within whatever it might be? Those of us that look at sensing and we see a bottle. We see it has roughly a half an ounce of water in it. It has a cap. But for those of us that look at information not through sensing, but through what it could be, we see a possible vase. We see a weapon if we're being attacked by someone incredibly small and frail. We see a measuring device. We see a tracing object in case we need to make a bunch of circles. We look at the world through a different lens. The second one is how we make decisions. Do we make decisions based upon logic, based upon cold, abstract facts? Or do we make decisions based upon how it's going to impact people? How it's going to impact others? Are we feeling, or are we thinking? And having these lenses are innate within our own personalities. How we use them is our choice. The majority of America focuses both on sensing and thinking. 14% of all people in the United States are what's called an ESTJ, extroverted, sensing, thinking, judger. It's the most common type of personality for any person in leadership. They sense, they think. They think of what things are, not what things could be. If you continually go down the path and realize, I've made a mistake, ask yourself, is it the mistake that I made that dictates who I'm going to become? Or is it what I can do with that mistake? Can I look at that mistake and build a euphoria within myself that says, I can be more than what I was before? When we look at our thinking and how we perceive the world, we can grow and become better versions of ourselves. We can use reflective thinking, strategic thinking. We can reject popular thinking. We can become critical thinkers. So the next time you realize you've made a mistake, don't look for a way to push that mistake off on someone else. Instead, raise your hands high and say, wow, I embrace the possibility of what this means.